Hi everybody, I'm Amy from the Cauldron, and in today's episode of Dye Time I am going to be dyeing this 100-gram skein of Donegal yarn, which is it's 87% wool, non-superwash wool, 13% Donegal viscose, which is the flecks of colour throughout this yarn. Now I'm doing this in a slightly different way than I normally do. This yarn pre-soaked for probably about 15 minutes in water and vinegar. Now normally I am dip dyeing this, but I'm only dip dyeing half of it. And normally I wouldn't have the yarn like this and leave it, but I'm doing it because I want black and then grey. I have in the pot half a gram of black acid dye from DT Craft and Design. All my equipment I'm using is dedicated for dyeing. I don't use it for food. I have here a tie to show where half of the skein is, because I'm not going to be dyeing the whole skein black or grey. So that's quite a nice black. I'm hoping that it'll be a nice sort of black and then grey, and then I can dye this side purple. The pot is quite cool at the moment. I have added boiling water, but it was added to cold water, so the temperature has gone down a bit. You can see a bit of steam coming off, but it's not that hot. I'm going to keep an eye on it, and once there's movement on the water I will turn it down. And once most of the colour has cleared, I will put in this extra little bit of yarn, and then we can come and dye the rest of it. It's just been on the heat for about 5 minutes now, and that water is significantly lighter than it was, so I'm going to gently roll in. Let's see, dip the rest of that in. Yeah, that is what I wanted. Oh, looks like some of that black has broken into some blues there. That looks pretty cool. I'm not sure if it could just be that it's a bit paler there, or it could be broken. I'm not sure. I hope it's broken. That would be really cool. I love it when dyes break into the colours they're made of. But don't want all of that in. Just want up to that marker, but of course that's not going to work. There, stay. One of these days I'll learn. Stay. Yeah, I think that's looking good. I hope that will stay. Hope I've got it balanced. And I'm just going to leave this now until the water is clear, or as clear as I can get it. This has been on for maybe about 10 minutes now, and it looks like that water is pretty clear. There's a tinge of some colour in there. I'm not entirely sure what, but I am happy with this. Just let some of that drip off. Move this to the side so I can let this cool down. Now I have here 0.2 grams of Intense Iris, which is an acid dye from Dharma, plus 2 grams of a 1% stock solution I made from a red colour. I cannot remember which one it is. It's one of my red acid dyes from DT Craft and Design. But I can't remember which one it is because I didn't label my bottles. This is a good lesson to label your bottles. The Intense Iris is a beautiful blue purple, but I wanted a sort of, just to take that edge of blue off to make it more purple than a blurple. And that 2 grams of that 1% stock solution, which means there was 1 gram of dye dissolved into 100 millilitres of water. Now I think it could be Scarlet acid dye from DT Craft and Design, but I'm not 100%. They don't have a huge range, so there's not going to be many options. And I have re-rolled this, and now I only want to dunk in a little bit. Oh, that's pretty. About that much. There we go. Stay. And now I'm just going to leave this until hopefully all of that beautiful purple has absorbed into the yarn. I want to leave a little band of white. Not much, just a little band of white, and it looks like that grey and black wicked up the yarn more than I had anticipated. But, oh, that's really nice purple now. Really happy with that. So yeah, I'm going to now leave this until the water is clear. This has been on the heat for about half an hour now. Oops, and that is a beautiful purple. There is still colour in the water. I have added a bit more vinegar to this, but I honestly don't think it's going to absorb anything more. You can see the water that's running off this is clear. Before we go any further, I just wanted to point out, even though I've shifted this a little bit, it doesn't look like the purple really wicked up the wool that much. It looks like it pretty much stayed where it was, which I find interesting because the black and the grey seem to wick up a bit. Now I'm not going to throw this dye away, and I'm going to do something that I have been a bit curious about. I'm wondering if it's possible. I've got here 100 grams of superwash polwarth yarn. It is dry. I'm just going to put this in here to get up the rest of that dye. Now this will be a bit patchy because it went in dry, but that's not a worry I have. You can see that's a bit patchy, but I'm not worried because I'm going to use this as a base for another project. The thing that I've been wondering if I can do or not is, can I have something that is in the pot and steam something at the same time? The water is not coming up through my steam basket because I do want to steam this because I'm not entirely sure how long the black and grey was on the heat for. So if I can just steam this for a good half an hour, 45 minutes at least, and we'll see if that works. I don't know if covering this up will agitate things too much in there, or if it will boil dry, I don't know. But I'm going to cover this up and just keep a very close eye on it for the next 30-45 minutes and see what's going on. I've turned this down to its absolute lowest, so there is still a lot of heat in there, and hopefully this will catch a lot of steam if I leave the lid on. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. This has been on the heat for about 45 minutes now, and yeah, the water dripping off of that is clear, so I'm happy with that. Let's have a look at the yarn underneath. That's looking pretty good too, actually. I don't think I could do this with any more than 100 grams, but that certainly seems to have worked. That yarn has got all of that dye into it, and yes, it's patchy like I thought it would be, but that will create a really nice base for another colourway that I'll probably dye. I'll dye soon. So yeah, I am really happy with this, and my little experiment has worked. Definitely couldn't do it with any more yarn in the bottom, but that's great. So I'm just going to turn the heat off and let this cool down. This yarn has completely cooled down now, so let's give it a rinse. This is non-superwash yarn, so I'm going to be very careful not to agitate it too much. I don't want to felt it. So I'm just going to put in a little bit of washing up liquid. And here, this is just cold tap water at the moment. Doesn't look like there is any bleeding at the moment. Maybe the little hint of black. Yeah, there's possibly a bit of black coming out. Yeah, there's a little bit of black coming out, not too much. So I am just going to keep doing this until the water runs clear. Hopefully it won't be too much longer. Just let it soak in the water. Yeah, that's looking better already. I'm just going to let this soak for a little while and then wash it a few more times, and then I can hang it up to dry. But I am happy with this. Yeah, there's nothing coming out of this now. And not forgetting this extra skein here. This water is completely clear. Give it a rinse through with cold water. That looks good to me. It smells quite strongly of vinegar. Now this is superwash yarn, so I don't mind adding the washing up liquid directly to the yarn, because this won't felt. Yeah, it doesn't look like there is anything coming out of this, which is brilliant. So I'm just going to wash this a couple more times to get rid of that vinegar smell, then I can hang it up to dry. And here is the finished yarn. Now I've learnt quite a lot with this. The black, I possibly used a bit too much black. I know you need to use a lot of black to make a nice black colour like I've got here. But it's possibly too much for that little section. And it has created a really nice grey around here. And again with the purple, what I found quite interesting with the purple is it didn't really wick up the yarn like the black did. It sort of just stayed where it was. I mean, it's not a solid line. There is a little bit of fading, but not much. But when we look here with the black and the grey, there's definitely more grey on this than I actually dunked in the water. So I found that quite interesting. There's not much white left. Oh, there's actually quite a nice section of white there. But on this side, it's just tiny, tiny bit. Now, I know if I wanted to get more even segments, then I would hand paint. So this, I did want to experiment with doing black and then grey dipping. And I really like how that has turned out. And together with the flecks of the Donegal throughout, I love it. I think it's really colourful and it just looks really pretty. I'm really happy with it. And not forgetting the extra yarn that I put in the pot to get up the remainder of that beautiful purple. It's pretty solid actually. There are some darker patches, but it's, in general, it's pretty solid considering it went in dry. I am going to over dye this. I don't know what with. I ran out of time when I was dyeing the Donegal yarn, and I just haven't had time to dye this since. So that's why I've washed it and why it's here now. I could leave it like this, but I do want to put something over it, but I don't know what. What would you over dye this yarn with? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do please click like and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this video. What would you over dye this very pretty purple yarn with? Let me know. And while you're at it, make sure you're subscribed to my channel and you've got notifications turned on so you never miss a new video. I publish videos every Monday, usually around about 6 PM UK time. And I do like to try to do different things in my videos, so there should always be something interesting to watch. Thank you so much for watching.